review. Mighty number 9, take 2. So I already made a review on Mighty number 9, but in that review I mentioned the Raid DLC and that I wanted to make a mini review on it later. I just felt that there was a lot of things I wanted to talk about. Also, that review was running a little long and I thought it would just be better to make a separate review on the DLC. If you want to know my thoughts on the main game, go check out that review. Okay, so after the initial main game was funded through Kickstarter on October 30th, 2014, Comstate tried to hold another crowdfunding campaign for an additional amount of money. The funding was so they can make the DLC stage to introduce Ray, Beck's rival. The campaign, however, failed and they didn't get anywhere near their goal. But on April 28, 2015, Concept announced that they had teamed up with the publisher Deep Silver. The partnership allowed them to add more features to the game, but the main thing was that it also allowed them to create the Raid DLC they wanted to make. The Raid DLC became a little bit of a controversy, as many of the Kickstarter backers believed that they should have been focused on finishing the main game and worried about DLC on a much later date after the game was completed. Honestly, I'm inclined to agree with the people who are angry. Good DLC can help improve on a game, but it should be something that is created after the game has been completed. So trying to get extra funding for the DLC before they completed the main game was a bit of a mistake if you ask me. But at this point, it doesn't matter anymore. The game was made and released, and the Raid DLC was given free to anyone who backed the project or purchased a physical version of the game. Alright, so now let's move on to the plot.
Spoilers!
Before I played the DLC, I thought it took place after the main game. The story, however, seems to take place during the game, which kinda creates some plot holes. The story starts with an unknown being trying to hack into the Sandal Lab computers. Carl's not able to stop the hacker, so they decide to send Beck to go to the hacking location and stop the hacker directly. The hacking is coming from an abandoned Sharing Dynamics lab. Inside the lab, Beck finds a bunch of destroyed robots and finally encounters a mysterious robot named Rachel, aka Ray. Ray attacks Beck, and a battle ensues. Beck is almost able to beat her, but she blasts a hole into the floor and escapes. Beck jumps in after her and chases her through the sewers. Beck is able to catch up with her in a secret lab, and it leads to another fight. But Beck is able to beat her this time. Unfortunately, Ray escapes again, and this time without a trace. Next, the story switches to Ray's point of view. Dying from an unstable body and needing more cell to stabilize herself, Ray decides to go to the Battle Coliseum, believing all the robots that are normally there fighting will provide enough cell energy to stabilize her. Ray is able to absorb all the cell energy she needs to stabilize herself, and also finds something familiar with the cells she got from the Sonda robots. So she decides to go after the mighty robots, hoping to gain some more information into her past. Ray defeats all the mighty robots, and collects the information she was hoping to find. The data she gathers leads her to Dr. White, and while investigating him, she intercepts a distress call from Graham asking for help. Ray chases White to the Cherry Dynamic factories, but is not able to find him there. She next senses Trinity's energy at the Coliseum and heads over there hoping to find him. There, she battles Trinity, but nearly dies due to her unstable condition. She is however found by Beck and White, and Beck uses his abilities to cure Ray from the deterioration, and the story seemingly ends there. After the credits though, in a report by Dr. White, he says that unfamiliar robot's deterioration started once again, and when they were transporting her body, she let out some energy discharge, destroying the transport vehicle, and the robot's whereabouts are unknown now. The story ends with Ray asking when her thirst will be quenched, and that she will have her answers from him. As Ray, you play through the 11 Beck levels from the main game, and at the end of each level you fight a boss. And like Beck, she gains an ability from defeating one of the mighty robots. Unlike Beck, who uses his blaster as the main weapon, Ray uses her claws to cause melee damage to her enemies. This requires her to get up close to the enemy while attacking. Luckily, her dash also acts as an attack, and unlike Beck, can dash through enemies or bounce off them causing damage. Her dash can also be used as a downward attack. Ray is also able to absorb cell energy, like Beck, but unlike Beck, Ray absorbs cells so she can replenish her health. Ray's health is constantly going down, turning her health bar red. Whether she is standing still or attacking, it's always going down. By absorbing an enemy cell, the red in the health bar turns back into normal health, but if Ray is hit, whatever part of the health bar that was red is lost. This means when she takes a hit, it could potentially be double damage, take half her health bar, or even be a one-hit kill if you do not absorb Cell to replenish your health on time. As I mentioned earlier, by defeating the mighty robots, Rain gains new abilities. A few of them act similar to the abilities Beck gains by defeating the mighty robots, but many are different, like being able to turn invincible for a short while, or using a drill as a hook shot that can cause damage but can also be used to grab onto far ledges. When I first played as Ray, I kept getting absolutely destroyed, especially on boss battles. With the bosses, you have to do a certain amount of damage before you can absorb Cell energy from them, so if you're not good enough at avoiding their attacks, this means you could die in a few, if not one hit. Playing as Ray is definitely more challenging than playing as Beck, which is funny because I thought she was going to be a lot more powerful, making the game easier. After a while, I got used to playing as her, and beating some of the bosses really became an enjoyable challenge. Like the final boss, I pretty much had to beat her without taking any damage, but by the time I beat her, I was just so pumped and excited that I was able to do it, and it really felt rewarding. After I got used to Ray's constantly draining health thing, I really enjoyed playing as her, though I'm still not a big fan of that mechanic, which the ending really pissed me off because of that. Beck cures her so she's not constantly dying anymore, but after the credits, they have the whole scene where she starts deteriorating again, and that was just really disappointing to me. Which really makes her story pointless. She starts and ends in the same place, not really knowing anything about her past and slowly dying and requiring fresh Cell to survive. That's just really bad writing, and like I said, made her story really pointless. I do like Ray as a character. She's like this robotic vampire, and I feel like this is what Zero might have been like if he wasn't defeated by Sigma when he first was discovered. But she's more than Zero or a Proto Man copy, and I do feel like she stands out from them. But if anything, I think she kind of looks like base EXE. One thing I am disappointed about is that she wasn't given her own unique level, and I would have liked if she would have battled Beck. I think that would have made a cool boss battle. Alright, so if you didn't see my last review, I recommended that you either play or buy Mighty No. 9, so it also shouldn't come as a surprise that I recommend you playing this Ray DLC. I think playing as Ray was more fun and rewarding than playing as Beck, honestly. Also, if you buy a physical copy of the game, it comes free with that game, so no reason not to play it. Anyways, that's all for now. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment, like, who's your favorite Mega Man rival character? Zero, Proto Man, or Base? Alright, now with this adventure over, it's time to move on to my next one. See you next time, and thanks for watching. Hey people, if you like this video, we have plenty of other cool videos on the channel. Check them out. I also made a review on Mighty No. 9. Alright, thanks for watching.